Jack Morrison woke up to the sound of screaming alarms. Red lights flashed all around his small room on the mining ship. He jumped out of bed and grabbed his work clothes. Something was very wrong. The floor shook under his feet as he ran down. The metal hallway. Other workers were running too. Their faces looked scared. Jack had worked on the UNS Horizon for 3 years. He had never seen the crew look this afraid. What's happening? Jack yelled to his friend Tom Parker, who was running beside him. Don't know, Tom shouted back. The captain called all hands to the main deck. Jack's heart was beating fast. He thought about his younger brother Danny, who worked on the night shift in the mining station. Danny was only 24 years old. He had joined the space program to make money for their sick mother back on Earth. The main deck was full of people. Captain Lisa Green stood at the front. Her face was white as paper. Behind her, the big screen showed space outside the ship. Jack could see huge rocks floating in the darkness. They were in an asteroid field. Listen up, Captain Green said. Her voice was shaking. We found something out there. Something that's not from Earth. The screen changed. Now it showed ships, but these were not human ships. They were long and sharp like giant crystal spears. They glowed with blue light. There were hundreds of them hiding behind the biggest asteroid. Alien ships, someone whispered. Jack felt his mouth go dry. Humans had been looking for alien life for hundreds of years. Now they had found it. But these aliens did not look friendly. The radio crackled. A voice spoke, but it did not sound human. It was cold and hard like metal scraping against stone. Human. Vessels, you will surrender now? I am War Prime Zethruck of the Vorthic Empire. Your species has spread too far into our space. Captain Green stepped forward. This is Captain Lisa Green of the United Earth Vessel Horizon. We come in peace. We did not know this was your territory. The alien voice laughed. It was a terrible sound. Peace? Your kind knows only war and destruction. We have watched you spread like a disease across the stars. No more. The screen showed one of the crystal ships moving toward the mining station where Danny worked. Jack's blood turned to ice. You have 1 rotation of your sun to leave all worlds beyond your home system, the alien continued. Any human found in our space after that will be destroyed. This is your only warning. Wait, Captain Green said. We have families on those stations, innocent people. Give us more time. Time? The alien's voice was full of anger. Your species has had time. You have wasted it. Observe. The crystal ship fired a beam of blue light at the mining station. The beam hit the station and it exploded in a ball of fire. Jack watched in horror as the place where his brother worked disappeared in seconds. Danny, Jack whispered. His legs felt weak. He grabbed Tom's arm to stay standing. 300 humans just died, the alien said. This is what happens to those who ignore our warnings. You have 24 hours. The alien ships vanished behind the asteroids. The main deck was silent except for the sound of people crying. Jack stared at the empty space where the mining station used to be. Danny was gone. His little brother was dead. Dr. Helen White pushed through the crowd. She was the ship's scientist who studied alien life. Her hands were shaking as she held a small device. Captain, she said, I got readings from their weapons. The aliens use crystal technology. It's like nothing we've ever seen. Can we fight them? Captain Green asked. With what? Dr. White shook her head. They have thousands of ships. We have mining tools and a few small defense guns. They could destroy every human colony in days. Jack felt anger burning in his chest. These aliens had killed Danny and threatened to kill everyone else. They acted like humans were insects to be stepped on. There might be a way, Dr. White said quietly. The crystal technology they use gives off a special frequency. If we could match that frequency and reverse it, we might be able to disrupt their ships. How? The captain asked. Human brains produce electrical patterns. Under extreme stress, these patterns might match what we need. But it would have to be very extreme stress. Like the kind that happens when someone is dying. Jack stepped forward. What are you saying? Dr. White looked at him with sad eyes. The frequency we need only happens when a human brain is shutting down. when someone is having a near-death experience. The problem is, most people who get that close to death don't come back. So you're talking about killing someone? Captain Green said. Not killing, more like controlled dying for a few minutes. Long enough to record the brain patterns and amplify them through our communications array. That's insane, Tom said. No one could survive that. The chance of survival would be very low, Dr. White admitted. Maybe 1 in 10. And even if someone survived, we don't know if it would work on the alien ships. Jack looked at the empty space where the mining station had been, where Danny had died. The aliens had murdered his brother without a second thought. They planned to kill millions more humans. I'll do it, Jack said. Everyone stared at him. Jack, no, Tom said. You can't? Why not? Jack's voice was steady. Now, my brother is dead. These aliens think they can just kill us all. Someone has to try to stop them. You don't understand? Dr. White said. The procedure would require you to be clinically dead for several minutes. Your heart would stop. Your brain would shut down. Even if we could bring you back, you might have brain damage. Better than being dead like Danny, Jack said. Better? Than letting these aliens kill everyone. Captain Green put her hand on Jack's shoulder. I can't ask you to do this. It's too dangerous. You're not asking. I'm volunteering. Jack looked around at all the scared faces. These aliens think humans are weak. They think we'll just run away. Maybe it's time to show them what humans really are. Dr. White was checking her equipment. If we're going to try this, we need to do it soon. The aliens will be watching us. If they see us preparing something, they might attack early. How long do we have? Captain Green asked. 24 hours before their deadline. But I need at least 6 hours to set up the equipment. And we need to get closer to their ships for the signal to work. Jack felt a cold fear in his stomach, but he pushed it down. Danny would have done the same thing for him. All those people on the colonies were counting on them. What do I need to do? He asked. First, we need to get you to the medical bay. I'll need to run some tests on your brain patterns. Then we'll need to modify the communications array to amplify the signal. Jack, Tom said, are you sure about this? There has to be another way. Jack looked at his friend. Tom had been with him through 3 years of dangerous mining work. They had saved each other's lives more times than he could count, but this was different. This was bigger than just the two of them. Danny was going to be a father, Jack said quietly. His girlfriend Amy is pregnant. The baby will never meet. It's Daddy because these aliens decided humans don't deserve to live. If I don't try this, that baby might never get to live either. The captain nodded slowly. Dr. White, start preparing the equipment. Tom, I need you to help modify the communications array. Everyone else, prepare for emergency jump to hyperspace. If this doesn't work, we'll need to run. As the crew scattered to their tasks, Jack stood alone on the main deck. He looked out at the stars and thought about Danny. His brother had always been the brave one. Now it was Jack's turn to be brave. He just hoped he would live long enough to see if it worked. Admiral Peter Cole sat in his command chair on Earth's orbital station. The screens around him showed chaos. Red dots marked every human colony in space. Each dot represented millions of lives. The alien deadline was only 18 hours away. Admiral, his aide Lieutenant Nancy Bell said, the evacuation ships can't move fast enough. We have 43 million people scattered across 12 colonies. Even if we had 1,000 ships, we couldn't save them all. Peter Cole was 60 years old. He had fought in 3 wars and survived countless battles. But he had never faced an enemy like this. The Vorthic Empire had ships that could destroy entire planets. Humans had mining tools and cargo vessels. What? About the military fleet? He asked. 17 ships, sir. Against thousands of alien vessels, it would be suicide. On the main screen, Peter watched as another group of crystal ships appeared near New Geneva Colony. The colony had 8 million people. Men, women, children who had gone to sleep thinking they were safe. Sir, the communications officer called out. We're getting a message from the Un's horizon. Captain Green says they have a plan. Peter felt a small spark of hope. Put her through. Captain Green's face appeared on the screen. She looked tired and scared, but her voice was steady. Admiral, we may have found a way to fight back. Explain. Our scientist Dr. White discovered that the alien crystal technology has a weakness. It can be disrupted by a specific brain frequency that humans produce during near-death experiences. Peter frowned. Are you talking about killing someone? Not exactly, more like controlled death. We would stop someone's heart for a few minutes while their brain produces the right frequency. Then we would amplify that signal through our communications. Array, that's insane. No one could survive that. One of our crew members has volunteered, Jack Morrison. He lost his brother in the alien attack on the mining station. Peter felt sick. Captain, I cannot authorize the murder of one of our own. People, it's not murder if he volunteers. And Admiral, what choice do we have? If we do nothing, everyone dies anyway. Before Peter could answer, alarms started ringing. On the screen, he watched as the alien ships near New Geneva Colony began to glow with blue light. They're attacking, someone shouted. The blue beams struck. The colony, the entire settlement vanished in a ball of fire. 8 million people died in seconds. Peter stared at the empty space where the colony had been. His hands were shaking. These aliens were not just conquerors. They were monsters. Admiral, Captain Green said quietly. Jack Morrison is our only hope. Do it, Peter said. God forgive us all. Back on the UN's horizon, Jack Morrison lay on a medical bed. Dr. Helen White was attaching wires to his head and chest. The medical bay was crowded with people. Tom Parker stood in the corner, his face white with worry. The brain monitoring equipment is ready, Dr. White said. The drugs will stop your heart in exactly 30 seconds after injection. Your brain will stay active for about 4 minutes after that, then we'll have to bring you back. Dr. Ben Carter, the ship's doctor, was pacing back and forth. This is murder. I won't be part of it. Then leave, Jack said. His voice was calm, but his heart was racing. I'm doing this with or without your help. Jack, Tom said, please don't do this. There has to be another way. There is no other way. Jack thought about Danny's smile. His brother had always protected him when they were kids. Now it was Jack's turn to protect everyone else. Katie Brown, the ship's engineer, was working on the communications array. The transmitter is ready. When Jack's brain produces the right frequency, we'll boost it and send it toward the alien ships. How close do we need to be? Captain Green asked. Close enough to touch them, Katie said. The signal won't travel far in space. We'll need to get within a few hundred meters of their ships. That's suicide, Tom said. Everything we're doing is suicide, Jack replied, but it might also save everyone. Dr. White checked her equipment one more time. Jack, I need you to understand something. When your heart stops, you might see things. Hallucinations, your brain will be dying. Don't fight it. Just let it happen. What if I can't come back? Then you'll be with Danny. Jack closed his eyes. He pictured his brother's face. Danny had always been the funny one, the one who made everyone laugh. He would have hated these aliens for taking away people's chance to laugh. I'm ready, Jack said. Dr. Carter suddenly stepped forward. No, I can't let you do this alone. He looked at Dr. White. I'll monitor his heart. If we're going to bring him back, we need to do it right. The alien ships are moving, someone called from the bridge. They're heading toward the next colony. We're out of time, Captain Green said. Jack, are you sure about this? I'm sure. Dr. White picked up the syringe. The liquid inside was clear, but Jack knew it would stop his heart in seconds. This is going to hurt. Good, Jack said. I want to feel something for Danny. The needle went into his arm. Jack felt fire racing through his veins. His heart started beating faster, then slower. The room began to spin. Heart rate dropping. Dr. Carter said 100, 80, 60. Jack's vision started to blur. He could hear people talking, but their voices sounded far away. His chest felt heavy, like someone was sitting on it. 40 beats per minute. 30, 20. The world was turning dark. Jack tried to breathe, but his lungs wouldn't work. He felt like he was falling into a deep hole. Flatline, Dr. Carter said. He's dead. Jack's mind floated in darkness. He could not feel his body anymore. But he could still think. He could still remember. Somewhere in the distance he heard Danny's voice. Jack, what are you doing? I'm trying to save everyone. You always were the stubborn one. Jack felt himself drifting further from his body. But he could also feel something else. A strange vibration in the darkness. It was like music, but not music. It was the sound of his dying brain. On the ship, Dr. White watched her instruments. I'm getting the frequency. Brainwave pattern is? Perfect. Katie, start the transmission. Katie's hands flew over the controls. Transmitting now, full power. The N's horizon moved toward the alien ships. Captain Green held her breath as they got closer and closer to the crystal vessels. Are they responding? She asked. I don't know. Wait, something's happening. The alien ships began to flicker. The blue glow around it started to fade. Then another ship began to shake. It's working, Tom whispered, but then the shaking stopped. The alien ships stabilized. The blue glow came back. The signal's too weak, Katie said. We need more power. Jack's been dead for 3 minutes, Dr. Carter said. We need to bring him back now or we'll lose him. Not yet, Dr. White said. We need more time. In the darkness, Jack felt something pulling at him. His body was calling him back. But he could also feel the vibration getting stronger. The frequency was building. Danny, he called out. I don't know if I can do this. You can do anything. Jack, you always could. Remember when we were kids and you climbed that tree to save my cat? I fell and broke my arm. But you saved the cat. That's what matters. Jack felt the pull getting stronger. His body needed him to come back. But if he came back too soon, the aliens would kill everyone. 4 minutes, Dr. Carter said. If we don't start revival now, he'll have brain damage. The signal's getting stronger, Katie said. More ships are starting to flicker. On the alien command ship, War Prime Zethric felt his vessel shudder. The crystal walls around him began to crack. Other ships in his fleet were reporting system failures. What is causing this? He demanded. Unknown, War Prime. The frequency appears to be coming from the human ship. Impossible. Humans do not have this technology. Nevertheless, it is disrupting our crystal matrices. If it continues, we will lose structural integrity. Zethric stared at the small human ship. These creatures were supposed to be weak. They were supposed to run away in fear. But instead, they were fighting back with a weapon his people had never seen. War Prime, his second-in-command said. What are your orders? Back on the Un's horizon, Jack felt himself being pulled back toward his body. The darkness was fading. He could hear voices again. Starting revival now, Dr. Carter said. Charging the defibrillator. The electric shock hit Jack's chest like lightning. His body jumped on the table, but his heart did not start. Again, Dr. White said. Another shock, still nothing. Jack, Tom said. Come on, buddy. Come back to us. Jack heard Tom's voice in the darkness. He remembered all the times Tom had saved his life in the mines. All the times they had laughed together. All the times they had talked about their dreams for the future. One more time, Dr. Carter said. The third shock brought Jack back. His eyes flew open and he gasped for air. His chest hurt like fire and his head was spinning. Jack, Tom said, you're back. You made it? Did it work? Jack whispered. Katie looked at her instruments. Some of the alien ships are damaged. But not all of them? The signal wasn't strong enough. Jack tried to sit up, but his body wouldn't obey. Then we have to do it again. No, Dr. Carter said. You almost died? Your heart stopped for 4.5 minutes? If we do it again, you won't come back. Then more people will die. Jack, Captain Green said. You did everything you could. We'll find another way. But Jack knew there was no other way. The aliens were too strong, too many. And they were already moving toward the next colony. He had come back from death, but it might not be enough to save humanity. Jack Morrison felt like he was floating in a strange place between sleep and waking. His body was on the medical bed, but his mind was somewhere else. The near-death experience had changed something inside him. He could see things that were not there before. "Jack, can you hear me?" Dr. Helen White asked. She was checking his brain activity on her machines. The readings were unlike anything she had ever seen. "I can hear you," Jack said, but his voice sounded different. It was quieter, like he was speaking from far away. "But I can also hear other things." "What kind of things?" Jack closed his eyes and concentrated. "The aliens, I can hear them talking. Their thoughts are connected to their crystal ships. When I was dying, my brain somehow linked with their frequency." Tom Parker leaned over the bed. "Jack, you're scaring me." "What are you talking about?" "The alien leader. His name is War Prime Zethrak. He's confused about what happened to his ships. He doesn't understand how humans could have this kind of weapon." Dr. White looked at her instruments. Jack's brain waves were showing patterns that should not be possible. "Jack, I need you to try something. Can you reach out to the alien ships again, without dying this time?" Jack opened his eyes. They looked different now. There was a strange light in them, like stars reflecting in deep water. "I think so. But it's hard to control." On the bridge, Captain Lisa Green watched the alien fleet through the main screen. Some of the crystal ships were still flickering from the first signal, but they were starting to repair themselves. The aliens were learning how to fight back. "Captain," Communications Officer Alex Turner said, "we're getting a message from the alien commander." "Put it through." The cold voice of War Prime Zethrak filled the bridge. "Human vessel, you have used a forbidden weapon against us. This changes nothing. We will still destroy your colonies." "Wait," Captain Green said. "Let's talk about this." "We don't have to fight. Your species is a disease. You spread across the galaxy like a plague. We have seen what you do to worlds. You take everything and leave nothing. That's not true. We're explorers. We want to learn and grow." "Lies. We have watched you for decades. Your kind knows only war and destruction, just like the Void Seekers." Jack sat up on the medical bed. His enhanced hearing had caught something important. "Did he say Void Seekers?" Dr. White nodded. "What does that mean?" Jack concentrated, reaching out with his changed mind toward the alien ships. Suddenly, images flooded his consciousness. He saw flashes of the Vorthok Empire's history. Their homeworlds, their wars, their fears. "Oh no," Jack whispered. "They're not the real enemy." "What do you mean?" Tom asked. "The Vorthok are running from something, the Void Seekers. They're things made of pure darkness that eat entire galaxies. The Vorthok developed their crystal technology to fight them, but it failed. Their whole empire is fleeing across space." "Captain." Green heard this through the intercom. "Are you saying the aliens are refugees?" "Yes, and they think humans are just like the Void Seekers. They think we're going to destroy everything in our path." Jack felt his mind reaching further into the alien network. He could sense War Prime Zethrak's thoughts. The alien leader was old and tired. He had watched the Void Seekers destroy 17 star systems. Billions of his people had died. "I need to talk to him," Jack said. "Mind to mind." "That's too dangerous," Dr. White said. "Your brain is already damaged from the first procedure. If you push too hard, you could die for real. People are already dying. More will die if we don't try." Jack closed his eyes and reached out across space. His consciousness traveled through the quantum connections between the crystal ships. He found War Prime Zethrak's mind and spoke directly to it. "War Prime Zethrak." "I am Jack Morrison. I wish to speak with you." The alien leader's mind recoiled in shock. "Impossible. Humans do not have this ability. I do now. Your weapons changed me when I died and came back. I can see your memories. I know about the Void Seekers." "Then you know why your species must be stopped, before you become like them." Jack felt the aliens' fear and pain. War Prime Zethrak had lost his family to the Void Seekers. His children had been consumed by the darkness. He was trying to prevent the same thing from happening to other worlds. "We're not like them," Jack said. "Yes, humans. Fight wars. Yes, we make mistakes, but we also love. We protect our families. We sacrifice ourselves for others. Just like you're doing now. Your species spreads too fast. Takes too much. Soon you will consume everything. No, we explore because we want to learn. We want to find others like us. We want to find friends. Jack showed War Prime Zethrak his own memories. Danny's smile. Tom's friendship. His mother's love, the way humans cared for each other, the way they helped strangers, the way they died for people they had never met. I do not understand, the alien leader said. Your weapon frequency comes from death. How can a species that creates such beauty also create such darkness? Because we understand that death gives life meaning. We know that our time is short, so we try to make it count. The frequency you fear is not a weapon, it's the sound of love. War Prime Zethrak's mind was quiet for a long moment. Then Jack felt something unexpected. The alien was crying. The Void Seekers are coming, Zethrak said. They are still decades away, but they are coming. They will consume this galaxy just like they consumed ours. Your death frequency is the only thing that can stop them. Then we should work together. Impossible? Your species is too young, too wild. You would use the weapon for conquest. Some might, but not all of us. I won't. Jack felt War Prime Zethrak, probing his mind, searching for lies or hidden motives. But Jack held nothing back. He showed the alien everything. His love for Danny, his willingness to die for strangers, his determination to protect the innocent. You are different, the alien leader finally said, but you are only one human. I'm not the only one. There are millions like me. People who would rather die than hurt the innocent. Prove it. Jack felt a challenge in the alien's mind. War Prime Zethrak was offering him something impossible. A choice that would change everything. Your brain can now generate the death frequency without dying. But to make it strong enough to fight the Void Seekers, you would need to bond with our crystal technology. You would become something new. Part human, part Vorthak. You would live forever, but you would never be fully human again. What about my people? If you accept this change, I will spare your colonies. More than that, I will teach your species how to fight the Void Seekers. Together we might have a chance? Jack felt the weight of the decision. He could save humanity, but only by giving up his humanity. He would become immortal, but he would never again be the simple mining engineer who had loved his brother. I need time to think. You have no time. My fleet is already moving toward your next colony. Decide now. On the UN's horizon, Dr. White watched Jack's brain patterns spike to dangerous levels. Jack, whatever you're doing, stop. Your neural activity is off the charts. He's in pain, Tom said. Jack, come back to us. But Jack was deep in communion with the alien mind. He could feel War Prime Zethrak's desperation. The alien leader genuinely believed this was the only way to save both species. If I do this, will you really spare my people? I will do more than spare them. I will make them our allies, but you must choose now. The Void Seekers grow stronger every day. Jack thought about Danny. His brother had always said that Jack was the smart one, the one who could solve any problem. But this was not a problem. With a simple solution. There's something else, War Prime Zethrak said. The bonding process is permanent. Once you become part of our crystal network, you cannot go back, and the process might kill you. Even I do not know if a human mind can survive the transformation. What are the chances? Unknown. You would be the first. Jack felt his consciousness being pulled back toward his body. The connection was breaking. He had to decide quickly. I'll do it, he said. But I have conditions. Name them. My people must be told the truth about the Void Seekers. They must be given the choice to help. Or to run. And if I die during the bonding, you must still honor the alliance. Agreed, but understand, Jack Morrison. If you survive this, you will become humanity's guardian. You will carry the hopes and fears of two species. You will be alone in ways you cannot imagine. I'm already alone. My brother is dead. My old life is over. At least this way his death will have meaning. The connection broke. Jack opened his eyes on the medical bed. Tom and Dr. White were staring at him with worry. "Jack," Tom said, "what happened?" "You were unconscious for 10 minutes. I made a deal with the alien leader. They're going to stop attacking our colonies. But I have to do something in return." "What?" Jack looked at his friend. Tom had been with him through everything. He deserved to know the truth. "I have to become something else. Something that can fight the real enemy." "What real enemy?" Jack told them about the Void Seekers, about the alliance with the Vorthek, about the bonding process that would change him forever. "Jack, no," Tom said. "You already died once. You can't do this." "I have to. It's the only way to save everyone." Dr. White was checking her instruments. "Jack, your brain patterns are still changing. The mental link with the aliens has altered your neural pathways. You're not fully human anymore." "I know. And soon I'll be even less human." The alien shuttle attached to the UNS horizon with a soft clang. Jack Morrison stood in the docking bay, waiting. His hands were steady, but his heart was racing. In a few hours, he would either become humanity's savior or die trying. Tom Parker stood beside him. "I still think this is crazy." "Everything we've done has been crazy," Jack replied, "but it's worked so far." The airlock opened with a hiss. Two figures stepped through. The first was tall and thin, covered in smooth gray skin that seemed to shift like liquid metal. This was War Prime Zethrak. The second was smaller, with crystal growths covering parts of her body. Her name was Crystal Singer Velana, the Vorthax? Chief Scientist, War Prime Zethrak looked at Jack with large, dark eyes. "You are smaller than I expected." "Humans usually are," Jack said. "Does that matter? Size means nothing. It is the strength of your mind that concerns me." "Captain Lisa." Green stepped forward. "Before we begin, I need to know something." "Can we trust you?" Zethrak's head tilted slightly. "Your species asks strange questions." "Trust is earned through actions, not words. I am here. That should be enough." Crystal Singer Velana spoke for the first time. Her voice was musical like wind chimes. "The bonding chamber is being prepared on our ship. But first we must explain what will happen to Jack Morrison." They moved to the main conference room. Dr. Helen White was already there with her equipment. She had been studying the alien technology since the first contact. "The process is unlike anything in your experience," Velana continued. "Your consciousness will be merged with our crystal matrix. Your body will be changed at the cellular level. Your lifespan will become essentially unlimited." "What's the downside?" Jack asked. "You will no longer be fully human. Your thoughts will be connected to our network. You will feel the pain of our people as if it were your own. And the process itself may destroy your mind." Dr. White looked up from her notes. "What are the actual odds of survival?" War Prime Zethrak was quiet for a moment. "We have attempted this procedure twice before. With members of other species we encountered during our flight from the Void Seekers. Both died during the bonding." "Great," Tom muttered. "So Jack is the guinea pig?" "Not a guinea pig," Zethrak corrected. "A pioneer. If he survives, he will become the bridge between our species. If he dies, we will honor our agreement and protect your colonies anyway." Jack leaned forward. "Tell me about the Void Seekers." "I saw flashes in your mind, but I need to understand what we're really facing." Crystal Singer Velana's expression darkened. "They are entities of pure entropy. They consume the energy that holds matter together. Planets crumble to dust in their presence. Stars burn out and die. They leave nothing but empty space. How many are there?" "Unknown. They move in swarms across the galaxy. We estimate their main force will reach this sector in 30 to 40 of your years." "That's not much time to prepare," Captain Green said. "Which is why Jack Morrison must succeed," Zethrak replied. "The death frequency he can generate is the only weapon we have found that can disrupt their energy patterns. But it must be amplified beyond anything his human body can produce alone." Admiral Peter Cole's voice came through the communication system. "Captain Green, report." "What's the status of the negotiations?" "Admiral," Green replied. "The aliens have agreed to stop their attacks on our colonies. In exchange, Jack Morrison will undergo a procedure to help them fight a greater threat. What kind of procedure? Jack activated the communicator. Admiral, this is Jack. I'm going to be bonded with alien crystal technology. It will either give me the power to save everyone or it will kill me. There was a long pause. Son, are you sure about this? I'm sure, sir. My brother Danny would do the same thing if he were here. God help us all, the Admiral said. Quietly, Dr. White had been studying the alien equipment that Villana brought. The crystal matrix is unlike anything we've seen. It appears to be both organic and technological at the same time. Our ancestors grew the first crystals from their own body chemistry, Villana explained. Over thousands of years, we learned to shape them into tools and weapons. The bonding chamber will integrate Jack's neural patterns with the crystal network. How long will the process take? Jack asked. Several hours. You will be conscious for most of it. The pain will be considerable. Tom grabbed Jack's arm. There has to be another way. We just found out these void seekers exist. Maybe we can find a different solution. In 30 years? Jack shook his head. Tom, you know as well as I do that humans don't plan that far ahead. We'll wait until the last minute and then panic. But this will change you forever. Good. Maybe the galaxy needs someone who's changed. War Prime Zethric stood up. If we are going to proceed, we must begin soon. My fleet is already detecting long-range Void Seeker scouts in nearby systems. They are closer than we thought. How? Much closer? Captain Green asked. Perhaps 20 years instead of 30. The room fell silent. 20 years was barely enough time for humanity to unite, let alone prepare for a galactic war. I need to see the bonding chamber, Jack said. They transferred to the alien ship in small groups. Jack was amazed by the crystal architecture. The walls seemed to glow with inner light, and he could feel a faint humming in the air. The crystals are alive, Villana explained. They respond to thought and emotion. Once you are bonded, you will be able to communicate with any crystal structure in our fleet. The bonding chamber was in the center of the ship. It looked like a giant geode with crystal formations growing from every surface. In the middle was a chair that seemed to be carved from a single enormous crystal. This is where it will happen, Zethric said. Once you sit in that chair, the bonding will begin automatically. The crystals will grow into your body and connect. With your nervous system, Jack felt a chill of fear. Will I still be me? That is the question we cannot answer. You will retain your memories and your core personality, but you will also gain our memories and our knowledge. You may find it difficult to remember which thoughts are originally yours. Dr. White was scanning the chamber with her instruments. The energy readings are incredible. Jack, are you absolutely certain about this? No, Jack said honestly. I'm terrified. But I'm more scared of what happens if I don't try. Tom put his hand on Jack's shoulder. If you do this and survive, promise me you'll still be my friend. I'll always be your friend, Tom, even if I become something else. Crystal Singer Villana began activating controls around the chamber. The process cannot be reversed once it begins. If your mind cannot handle the integration, you will die within minutes. And if it works, then you will become the first hybrid in the history of either species. You will have abilities that neither humans nor Vorthak possess alone. Jack thought about Danny one more time. His brother had died trying to make money for their family. Now Jack was about to risk everything for a much larger family, the entire human race. I'm ready, he said. Wait, Captain Green stepped forward. Jack, I want you to know that what you're doing today will be remembered for as long as humanity exists. You're not just saving our colonies, you're giving our species a future. Thank you, Captain. Jack walked to the crystal chair. It was warm to the touch, and he could feel it responding to his presence. As he sat down, thin crystal tendrils began to emerge from the chair's surface. The bonding will begin in 60 seconds, Villana announced. Jack Morrison, do you consent to this procedure? I consent. Then may the crystal sing guide your transformation. The countdown began. Jack closed his eyes and thought about all the people he was trying to save. Children on distant colonies who had never heard of the Void Seekers. Scientists working to unlock the secrets of the universe. Families sitting down to dinner, never knowing that their existence hung by a thread. 10 seconds, Villana called out. Jack felt the crystal tendrils touching his skin. They were warm and seemed to pulse with their own heartbeat. 5 seconds. The tendrils began to penetrate his flesh. Jack gritted his teeth against the pain. Beginning integration now, the crystals surged into Jack's body like liquid fire. He screamed as they connected with his nervous system. His vision exploded into patterns of light and color. He could feel his consciousness expanding, touching minds across the fleet. Neural activity is spiking, Dr. White called out. His brain patterns are changing rapidly. Jack felt like he was being torn apart and rebuilt at the same time. Human thoughts mixed with alien memories. He saw the birth of stars and the death of worlds. He felt the joy of the Vorthic's first flight into space and the horror of their first encounter with the Void Seekers. Integration at 50%, Villana reported. His vital signs are holding steady, but Jack was no longer listening to the voices around him. He was experiencing the collective memory of an entire civilization. He saw their art, their music, their love for their children. He also saw their wars, their mistakes, their desperate flight across the galaxy. 75% integration. Jack felt his human identity being overwhelmed by the flood of alien experience. For a moment, he forgot who he was. He was Zethrak, fleeing the destruction of his homeworld. He was Villana, developing crystal technology in a desperate race against extinction. Jack. Tom's voice cut through the chaos. Stay with us. Remember who you are? Jack Morrison stood on the bridge of the new ship they had built together. Humans and Vorthak had worked side by side for 3 months to create the N's Defiance. It was unlike any vessel ever constructed, with human engineering and Vorthak crystal technology merged into one. The crystals growing from Jack's arms and chest pulsed with soft blue light. He could feel the thoughts of both species through the crystal network. Human determination mixed with Vorthak wisdom. Fear and hope balanced in equal measure. Long-range sensors are picking up something, reported Lieutenant Susan Clark. The human communications officer? It's big, sir, really big. Jack walked to the main display. His enhanced vision could see patterns in space that normal eyes could not detect. Dark shapes were moving between the stars, absorbing light and leaving empty void behind them. The Void Seekers, he said quietly. They're ahead of schedule. War Prime Zethrak stood beside him. Over the past months, the alien leader had become something like a friend. How many ships do you see? Not ships. Living creatures, hundreds of them, each one the size of a small moon. Captain Lisa Green felt her stomach drop. How long until they reached the first colony? Jack concentrated, his crystal-enhanced mind calculating trajectories and speeds. 6 days. 6 days? Tom Parker looked up from his engineering station. That's not enough time to evacuate everyone. We're not evacuating, Jack said. We're fighting. The past 3 months had been the busiest in human history. After Jack's transformation, Admiral Peter Cole had revealed the truth about the Void Seekers to Earth's government. The reaction had been exactly what Jack expected: panic, denial, and finally desperate action. Half the human fleet was now equipped with Vorthak crystal technology. Thousands of volunteers had undergone limited bonding procedures, gaining the ability to interface with crystal systems. None had achieved Jack's level of integration, but they could operate the hybrid weapons. All ships, this is Jack Morrison, he announced over the fleet communications. The enemy has arrived. Take your positions. 200 ships moved into formation. 50 were pure human vessels with crystal weapon attachments. 50 were Vorthak crystal ships with human crews. 100 were new hybrid designs that combined both technologies, but Jack knew it might not be enough. The Void Seekers had consumed entire galaxies. They had destroyed civilizations far more advanced than either humans or Vorthak. Jack, Dr. Helen White said over the intercom, We're reading massive energy spikes from your crystal matrix. Are you all right? I'm fine, Jack replied, though he wasn't sure that was true. The approaching Void Seekers were affecting him in ways he didn't understand. The crystals in his body were resonating with something in the darkness. The first Void Seeker appeared on the edge of the solar system. It looked like a living shadow in the shape of a giant squid. Its tentacles stretched for thousands of kilometers, and wherever they touched, stars began to dim. My God, Captain Green whispered, it's huge. That's just a scout, War Prime Zethric said. The main swarm is still coming. Jack felt the creature's presence like ice in his veins. The Void Seeker was not truly alive in any sense that humans or Vorthak understood. It was a manifestation of entropy itself, the universe's tendency toward chaos and death. All ships, prepare to fire, Jack ordered. Target the creature's central mass. The combined fleet opened fire. Human plasma cannons and Vorthak crystal beams struck the Void Seeker simultaneously. The creature writhed as the energy tore through its dark substance, but it did not die. Minimal damage, reported Susan Clark. It's regenerating faster then. We can hurt it. Jack closed his eyes and reached out with his enhanced consciousness. He could feel the death frequency building in his mind, the same pattern that had disrupted the Vorthak ships months ago. But this time, he amplified it through every crystal in the fleet. The harmonic wave struck the Void Seeker like a hammer. The creature's form began to break apart, its dark substance dissolving into empty space. Within minutes, it was gone. It worked, Tom said with amazement. We actually killed one. But Jack's enhanced senses were already detecting more movement in the darkness. That was just the beginning. The main swarm is coming. Over the next hour, more Void Seekers appeared. Each one was larger than the last. Jack and the fleet destroyed them one by one, but the effort was exhausting. Each time Jack generated the death frequency, he felt a piece of his consciousness slip away. Jack, your neural patterns are becoming unstable, Dr. White warned. You need to rest. No time for rest, Jack replied. He could see the massive shape approaching from deep space. The Void Seeker Queen, the largest of their kind. It was the size of Earth's moon and radiated darkness like a black sun. All ships, fall back to defensive positions, Jack ordered. This one is mine. Jack, no, Tom called out. You can't face that thing alone. I'm not alone. I have all of you with me. Jack felt the presence of every human and Vorthak in the fleet. Their hopes and fears flowed through the crystal network. Danny's memory was there too, giving him strength. The Void Seeker Queen reached out with tentacles of pure darkness. Where they touched, space itself seemed to tear. Planets in nearby systems began to crumble as their atomic bonds dissolved. Jack gathered every bit of power he possessed. The crystals on his body blazed with brilliant light. He could feel his human consciousness merging completely with the alien technology, becoming something that was neither human nor Vorthak, but something entirely new. For Danny, he whispered, for everyone. The death frequency erupted from Jack with the force of a dying star. It raced across space, carried by quantum resonance through every crystal in the fleet. The wave struck the Void Seeker Queen and kept going, spreading throughout the dark swarm behind her. The effect was immediate and devastating. The Queen's massive form began to disintegrate. Her agonized scream echoed across dimensions as entropy itself was turned back upon her. One by one, the other Void Seekers began to dissolve, but the effort was too much for Jack. He felt his consciousness fragmenting as the power flowed through him. His human memories began to fade, replaced by pure energy patterns. Jack! Tom's voice seemed to come from very far away. Stay with us. Jack tried to hold on to his identity, but it was like trying to hold water in his hands. He was becoming something beyond individual consciousness, a living embodiment of the force that opposed the Void Seekers. I'm sorry, he said, though he wasn't sure if the words were spoken aloud or just thought. Tell my mother I love her. The last of the Void Seekers dissolved into nothingness. The dark swarm that had consumed galaxies was finally destroyed. But Jack Morrison, the mining engineer from Earth, was gone. What remained was something else. a being of pure energy and crystal light, connected to every ship in the fleet but no longer bound by any single form. "Jack?" Tom asked quietly. "Are you still there?" The crystal network hummed with a familiar warmth. When the answer came, it carried the essence of everything Jack had been, transformed into something greater. "I'm here, Tom. I'm everywhere. And I'm watching over all of you." War Prime Zethric placed a crystalline hand on Tom's shoulder. "He has become what our legends call the Crystal Guardian. He is no longer one person but the protector of all life." "Is he happy?" Tom asked. The warmth in the crystal network grew stronger. "He is at peace, and he is with his brother." Captain Green looked out at the stars, which were beginning to shine brightly again now that the Void Seekers were gone. "What happens now?" "Now we rebuild," came Jack's voice through every crystal in the fleet. "Humans and Vorthak together. We explore the galaxy and make sure something like the Void Seekers never threatens life again. And you'll be watching over us?" "Always. I am the bridge between what was and what will be. I carry the hopes of both our species into the future." Tom Parker smiled through his tears. His friend was gone, but in a way, Jack Morrison had become something even better. He was the guardian of everything they held dear. Dr. Helen White began working on new procedures to train other Crystal Guardians, humans who were willing to undergo the transformation to protect future generations. Not everyone would go as far as Jack had, but they could help defend the galaxy from other threats. Engineer Katie Brown designed new ships that could carry the crystal network further into space. They would explore distant galaxies, spreading the alliance between humans and Vorthak to other species who needed protection. War Prime Zethric sent word to scattered Vorthak fleets throughout the galaxy. The long flight from the Void Seekers was over. They could come home. They could stop being refugees and start being explorers again. And at the center of it all, Jack Morrison's consciousness watched and protected. He had defied death not once, but twice, transforming from a simple human into something the universe had never seen before. The day Jack Morrison defied death and became humanity's only hope was the day two species stopped being enemies and became family. It was the day the galaxy learned that the greatest weapon against darkness was not technology or force, but the willingness of ordinary people to become extraordinary when their loved ones needed them. Danny Morrison's death in that mining station had seemed meaningless at the time, but it had set in motion events that saved not just humanity, but all life in the galaxy.